Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about a recent viral video that is literally everywhere on the internet. If you haven't seen it, you're not missing anything, because what is it? It's the usual misogynoir. The go-to behavior is to attack black women and put non-black women on a pedestal. So there's a lot of gender, racial, kind of status things going on here that has been the analysis that people have been having, right? And if you don't know, the man that goes by Ginja was on this show called Backchat. And Backchat is like this sort of reality show, debate show, which has been around since the 2010s. And I think it's actually quite similar when I was thinking about it to Jubilee, and how when having these conversations, the intentions are negative. The intentions is to benefit. The intention is to, frustrate, fight, have conflict. That there's no sense of genuinely thinking about how these topics impact people in real life. Like, it's so much about clicks and comments and engagement that they are divorcing it from the very reality of our day-to-day experiences. And in this context, it's black women. But Backchat is no stranger to controversy. There was a recent controversy, I think it might have been during one of the lockdowns, where one of the contestants said that if they had a disabled child, they don't want them because they're disabled and ugly. And straight away, I know I mention Deshawn's book all the time, but I also watched Olay's video where she was talking about, it overlaps, sorry if this is a bit long-winded, but where she was talking about if pretty privilege if pretty is a privilege, then ugly is a curse, and how she used Deshawn's work in terms of pretty with a capital P and ugly with a capital U, and how we should recognize ugly as its own group in terms of people that are discriminated against because they do not fit society's expectations of beauty, right? And particularly in this country where we know that the UK is classless as hell, and how that overlaps with disability, constantly there's a need to justify your needs for support, your right to housing, and this is what you come and do, this is what you come and say. There's no consideration. So the misogynoir is just a long line of this. And I know, because a lot of my supporters are black women. If you watched Backchat in the past, you would have seen how Nunu was treated constantly on that show. If you don't know, Nunu is a dark-skinned black woman, and as a light-skinned person, it's important, and for us light-skinned people, it's important for us to back dark-skinned black people. You can clearly witness the differential treatment, right? So that is what, just to give you a picture of things, that is what people are thinking of when they think of Backchat. So it's no, it's not like Olay and Friends, for example, when it feels like you're actually learning something from listening. That's not the intention. The intention isn't to educate or learn. It's to create drama. It's to cause conflict. And it is harmful. It is harmful. And I can't help but just feel like this sort of increased... It's not as if conservatism wasn't, increasingly a mindset in the black community, but obviously we're adapting in part to the world around us. And I think there definitely feels like there's a tide. It's like a strong sort of current at the moment, and people are feeling even more validated, is what I'm trying to say. Men of this variety who conform and expect these very oppressive traditional gender roles, which are rooted in this European Victorian ideologies and white supremacy, essentially empowered with these incel red pill spaces, and how this is becoming such a strong voice right now. I'm not saying it's not a part of the status quo, not saying that at all, because it very much is. I'm not like those other men, but the reality is, are you actually understanding the way the world works, and how you have the potential to be harmful regardless of how many books you've read, or how aware you consider yourself. And I just think that with these gendered and racialized dynamics, like black women in particular are feeling incredibly unsafe right now. And to give us a little bit of comic relief in this very tense topic, it feels like the self-haters are falling from the sky. Like, you lot are leaning into the anti-blackness, patriarchal, bigoted BS, and it's extremely concerning because our lives are at risk as a result. Yeah, and it feels very tense and unsafe. And as a result, this show is not needed right now. Like, it's time to leave back chat in the past, and I just felt like I had to say that in this video. The red pill type thing. Who's gonna pay on the first date? Hatred of women, particularly dark-skinned black women, and black men who just want to be white men. Like, all of the way you're behaving, the ideas around gender, talking about how people are bald and talking about hair length. Just say you wanna be a white man. Come to the front. Yeah? That's the vibe. When, like, and this is what you need to know, your history. You need to know your history. And, you know, people made some valid points around Ginja J. What's their channel? Oh, I can't remember, the American lady who was talking about how, is it Dominique? I'm not sure. I'll put their video on so you can see what I was referring to. But when they're talking about, like, the anger that he has and his experiences within the prison system, all of that was interesting, right? And I do empathize, and this is the thing, I think there's always that understanding from black women on the experiences that black men have in this society. But do we get it back from these types of people? And on a whole, is there that understanding?